April 9th, 1981, opening day, Dodger Stadium. A 20-year-old Mexican kid nobody's heard of takes the mound. He's got a beer gut, a scraggly mustache, and 0 big league starts. The first pitch? A screwball that breaks like it's defying the laws of physics. The batter swings, misses by a foot. 9 innings later, the Houston Astros have 0 runs. Complete game shutout in his first career start on opening day. And that was just the beginning. What happened next wasn't just baseball. It was a phenomenon so explosive they had to invent a word for it. Fernandomania. 50,000 people packing Dodger Stadium every time this kid pitched.
It is the most wonderful, rewarding thing I think we've seen in baseball in many, many years.
Entire families who'd never been to a game showing up in sombreros. Radio ratings through the roof. But here's what nobody tells you. Fernando almost never made it. And the reason why will blow your mind. Stick with me, because this isn't just about a pitcher. This is about a cultural earthquake that changed American sports forever. Fernando is 18 years old, pitching for Puebla in the Mexican League. Huaquila, Sonora, a tiny farming town you've never heard of. 12 siblings, dirt poor. But the kid can pitch. He throws a screwball. You know what a screwball is? It's a pitch that spins backwards. While every curveball breaks away from a lefty hitter, the screwball dives into them. It's like watching gravity work in reverse. Mike Brito, a Dodgers scout, is in Mexico watching a different player. Then Fernando takes the mound, and Brito forgets the other guy exists. But here's the crazy part. Brito almost doesn't sign him. Why? Because Fernando is overweight. Because he doesn't look like a major league pitcher. Because scouts back then wanted tall, lean athletes who looked like they stepped out of a magazine. Fernando looked like he stepped out of a taqueria. Brito fought for him anyway. The Dodgers signed Fernando for $120,000. Other scouts laughed. They thought Brito had lost his fastball. Now, quick question. Who's the most unlikely superstar you've ever seen? The player who had no business being that good? Comment below, because what Fernando did makes them all look ordinary. Spring training, 1981. Fernando isn't supposed to be anywhere near the major leagues. He's a project, a maybe someday guy. Then opening day starter Jerry Roos gets injured. The Dodgers look down the roster and see this pudgy kid who barely speaks English. They have no choice. It's Fernando or nobody. Tommy Lasorda, the manager, tells him, "Kid, you're starting opening day." Fernando just nods. No panic, no fear, just calm. April 9th, 1981. He shuts out the Astros. 5 hits. The crowd goes wild. Okay, people think. Nice debut. Good for him. 5 days later, complete game shutout against the Giants. Wait a second. 5 days after that, complete game shutout against the Padres. Now the baseball world is paying attention. April 27th, 8 shutout innings against Houston. May 14th, he's 8-0 with an ERA of 0.50. And here's where it gets insane. Every single start, Fernando would stand on the mound, wind up, and at the moment of release, he'd roll his eyes up, looking at the sky, like he was asking God for help. Batters hated it. They couldn't make eye contact. They couldn't read him. And that screwball? It looked like a fastball until the last millisecond. Then it would dive 6 inches. Unhittable. You want to know how big Fernandomania got? Let me paint you a picture. Before Fernando, Dodger Stadium averaged maybe 30,000 fans. On Fernando days, 56,000. Standing room only. Every single time. But it wasn't just numbers, it was who was showing up. Latino families who'd been in Los Angeles for generations but had never felt welcome at Dodger Stadium. Suddenly, they're there, wearing sombreros, waving Mexican flags, bringing their kids, their abuelas, their entire neighborhoods. Spanish-language radio, which had barely covered baseball, suddenly had Dodgers reporters. Jaime Harin, the legendary announcer, said calls were coming in from Mexico, Central America, South America. Everyone wanted to hear about El Toro, and Fernando, he handled it like he handled everything, quietly, humbly. He'd show up, throw his warm-up pitches, look at the sky, and go to work. But the pressure was crushing. 20 years old, can't speak English fluently, carrying the hopes of an entire community. Every 5 days, the world watches. One bad start, and people would say he was a fluke. One bad outing, and the magic dies. So what does Fernando do? July 1981, All-Star Game. Fernando is the starting pitcher for the National League. Look at the American League lineup. George Brett, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, Carlton Fisk, Dave Winfield, Hall of Famers, legends. Fernando takes the mound in Cleveland, 50,000 people watching, millions on TV. First inning, he strikes out the side. Second inning, 2 more strikeouts, 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, against the best hitters in baseball. Brett, Fisk, Fred Lynn, all swinging at air. He wins All-Star Game MVP at age 20 in his rookie season. The season ends with Fernando at 13-7, 2.48 ERA, 180 strikeouts, and 8 complete game shutouts. He wins the Cy Young Award and Rookie of the Year, the first and only player ever to win both in the same season. But here's the question nobody asks. Could he do it again? Or was 1981 just lightning in a bottle? 1982? 19 wins. Leads the league in shutouts again. 1983? 15 wins. Still dominant. 1984, rough year, 12-17. People whisper, he's done. 1985, Fernando claps back, 17-10, 2.45 ERA. The Screwball still filthy. 1986, 21 wins. He's officially elite. But here's what's killing him. The Screwball destroys your arm. It's like throwing a curveball in reverse. The torque on the elbow and shoulder is brutal, and the Dodgers are riding Fernando hard. Tommy Lasorda sends him out on short rest. 130 pitch complete games, 270 innings a season. Because Fernando never says no. He just takes the ball. By the late 80s, his arm is screaming, but he keeps pitching through it, because that's what legends do. Fernando is part of the Dodgers team that wins the World Series. He's not the ace anymore, Orel Hershiser is, but Fernando's veteran presence, his leadership, helps carry a team that shocks the world by beating the powerhouse Oakland A's. One more ring, one more moment of glory. But the end is coming. Spring training. The Dodgers call Fernando into the office and release him. No ceremony, no tribute. Just goodbye. Los Angeles is devastated. How do you cut a legend like that? But Fernando isn't done. He signs with the Angels, then the Orioles, the Phillies, the Padres. Wherever someone will give him a ball, he'll pitch. And then, June 29th, 1996, San Diego. Fernando is 35 years old. His fastball barely hits 80 miles per hour. The Screwball doesn't have the same bite. He's facing the Dodgers, the team that released him. The team he gave everything to, and Fernando Valenzuela throws a no-hitter at age 35, with a dead arm, against his former team. The baseball gods smiled that day. They gave Fernando one last moment of pure magic, one last reminder of who he was and what he meant. He retired in 1997 with 173 wins and a legacy that goes beyond any stat sheet. Here's what you need to understand. Fernando Valenzuela changed everything. Before Fernando, baseball was seen as America's game, white America's game. Latino fans watched, but they didn't feel like it was theirs. Fernando made it theirs. He opened the door for every Latino player who came after. Pedro Martinez, Mariano Rivera, Albert Pujols. Every single one will tell you, Fernando made it possible. The Dodgers retired his number 34. He's the only player in franchise history to have his number retired without being in the Hall of Fame. Think about that. A team with Jackie Robinson, Sandy Koufax, Clayton Kershaw, and they retired Fernando's number. Because Fernando wasn't just a player. He was a movement. October 22nd, 2024. Fernando Valenzuela passed away at age 63, just days before the Dodgers would play in the World Series. The entire baseball world stopped. Players wore black bands. Stadiums held moments of silence. The president of Mexico issued a statement. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred called him one of the most influential players in baseball history. And in Los Angeles, thousands of fans gathered at Dodger Stadium, not because they were told to, because they needed to say goodbye to the man who made them believe. Could someone do what Fernando did today? In the age of pitch counts and Tommy John surgery and analytics? Not a chance. Fernando threw 255 innings as a rookie. 255. Today's aces throw 180 and get shut down. He pitched on 3 days rest. He threw complete games like they were going out of style, because they were going out of style. And he did it all while carrying an entire culture on his shoulders. While dealing with racism, language barriers, and constant doubts about his body, his ability, his worth. He never complained. He just looked up at the sky and threw that impossible screwball. There's a photo of Fernando from 1981, mid-delivery, eyes rolled back, looking at heaven, the ball about to be released. That's how we should remember him. Not as statistics, but as the man who proved you don't need to look like a superstar to be a superstar. You just need heart, and a pitch that breaks the wrong way. Fernando Valenzuela made millions fall in love with baseball. He built bridges between cultures. He showed the world that greatness comes in all forms. Today's game is more beautiful because Fernando played it. More diverse, more inclusive, more real. If you want to celebrate legends who actually changed sports, hit that subscribe button. Chronicles of the Game is where we honor the players who mattered. The ones who weren't just great, they were important. Fernando Valenzuela wasn't the hardest thrower. He wasn't the flashiest, but he was the most meaningful pitcher of his generation. And whenever someone asks how to describe Fernando, how to capture what he meant in just a few words, there's only one answer. He was and always will be El Toro de Echohuaquila, the bull from Echohuaquila, the kid from nowhere who became everything. Viva Fernando, and I'll see you in the next one.